Hello my friends and welcome once again to this Red Gaming Tech video of myself and Marta. Hope you guys are having a good day. As always, I'm here with the latest news from the tech world from the last 24 or so hours as of the 13th of July. So we are going to begin today's proceedings with an interesting rumour regarding the PS5. So of course we now finally know what the PS5 looks like thanks to the Future of Gaming event that we had a little while ago. And of course, after the reveal, out come the memes, the glorious memes about the console looking like a Wi-Fi router or whatever. Now, obviously the issue that a lot of people had wasn't the colour scheme, but just the general look of the console. But if you did have an issue with the colour scheme, well, this rumour could be interesting. So there was a leak on the Reset Era forums of a Sony marketing poster which seems to reveal the PS5 in a new black and red skin with a black and red controller to go alongside it. Now the person who posted the image does claim that it's a promo image which was sent to retailers ahead of the release of the console, which of course, as you probably know, is business as usual. Now the pamphlet does look very professional and very official, but we should all keep in mind that there is still a chance that this is fake. Personally though, I hope it's true, because, just having more choice is nice. If you're going to be choosing the PlayStation 5 this gen, and you're going to be dropping like £400 to £500 or dollars or your regional currency here, a bit of choice is always nice. Personally, if it is available at launch, I'm going to get the black and red skin, because it looks nice. And I feel like black just kind of ages better as well. I'm probably not the only one here that still has my PS1 from when I was like 11 or 12 or whatever still in storage. And it's just kind of gone this weird yellow colour. I feel like those sort of colours, white, grey, just don't age well over a long period of time. And we are talking like over 20 years because I'm in my 30s. So it's been around a while and still works last I check, actually. Anyway, regardless of all that, I hope it's true. And more choice is always good. And I like the look of the black and red console. Anyway, we're going to move on now to an interesting report surrounding Watch Dogs Legions. And I'm not going to be talking really about the reveal, or the new trailer, should I say, that we saw at the Ubisoft Forward event yesterday, although the game does actually look really cool. I do love that Watch Dogs has gone from boring, Aiden Pearce has the personality of a block of wood, to neon and hackers and people in cat masks, and yeah, it's cool. I mean, awesome turnaround, and the game looks interesting, to say the least. So, this time, we're going to be talking about some technical things thanks to a Digital Foundry video preview. Of course, you can find their preview linked below. Now, the lucky folks over at Digital Foundry were able to check out a preview build of the game, running on a PC which was powered by an RTX 2080 Ti. Now, despite the fact that this is the best graphics card, top-of-the-line graphics card available, it was not able, to maintain a steady 60 FPS at 1080p with ray tracing enabled. Now, there is a couple of things to keep in mind before I go any further into this. A, DLSS was not enabled, and B, obviously there's still time before the game comes out, isn't out till the end of October. And obviously there's usually those driver updates a few days before a big game comes out that will help improve things like performance. But that's not really the focus of what I wanted to talk about here. The fact that a 2080 Ti was not able to maintain 1080p 60 FPS with ray tracing, I think really heavily suggests that we're going to be seeing a pretty significant improvement in ray tracing performance for the RTX Ampere cards. And we've heard from a couple of sources that it's going to be 2 to 4 times the ray tracing performance for Ampere versus Turing. And obviously as games get more and more demanding and more games actually enable ray tracing, that power is definitely going to be needed. Now, of course, I still hope that we do see some improvements on the game for those of you who are going to be sticking with the RTX 20 series or perhaps are still on the 10 series. And obviously there's no ray tracing on the 10 series, but you get my point. For the 20 series, I hope that obviously the DLSS being involved in the situation will significantly help things, as well as, of course, driver updates, game engine improvements, yada, 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 you get the idea. Still though, definitely speaks to just how demanding ray tracing actually is. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next Nvidia topic, which actually is regarding the RTX 20 cards. So this comes to us thanks to a report from IT Home, who are saying that according to their information, not only are the majority of the high-end RTX 20 series graphics cards being discontinued, they will soon be delisted by major vendors as they prep for the next gen, that being, of course, the RTX 30 series. Now, the high-end cards include, of course, the 2080 Ti, 2080 Super, 2070 Super, and RTX 2070. But also, according to a report from My Drivers, they are saying that the GTX 1660 Super and the RTX 2060 are actually going to be affected. Now, of course, this does make sense. We are pretty much expecting Nvidia to unveil the gaming cards for Ampere in August. Of course, when they unveiled the RTX 20 series of gaming cards, it was at Gamescom, which is in August. I think the second week of August normally. Obviously, there's not going to be any physical event this year, but we are still expecting Nvidia to unveil the cards at a digital event roughly around the same sort of time as they normally would have shown it at Gamescom. So this does kind of make sense that people would start preparing to discontinue the cards and maybe reduce the prices and so on and so on. Although there are reports that some retailers are actually going to be increasing the prices for the high-end cards thanks to a resurgence of the cryptocurrency mining craze, which is a phrase I'd never hoped I'd say again because that was crazy. Those few months where mining was just going insane. It was just impossible to get hold of a high-end card. Anyway, we're going to move on now to some news regarding Intel Xe. So, a Intel graphics chip for the upcoming Tiger Lake processors has been spotted, thanks to Tom Apisak over on Twitter, who has located a Sisoft Sandra listing this time around. And it reveals a few interesting things. The first of which is that they are actually going to be sticking with the Iris naming scheme, so it's going to be Intel Iris Xe graphics. And we also see a few details for the specs of the card. We see 1300 MHz graphics clock speeds, 1 meg of L2 cache, 6.3 GB of total shared memory. It seems like 1300 MHz is actually going to be the standard GPU clock on most Tiger Lake processors, as you may remember this number from earlier benchmarks for Tiger Lake that also showed the very same clock speeds. Now obviously, so far the branding of Iris Xe is only being used for laptop and notebook solutions. We don't actually know what the discrete or desktop GPUs are actually going to be called. However, Intel has already started the marketing campaign surrounding a quote-unquote summer launch. And we're already seeing a few teasers from employees regarding the gaming performance of the series. So we are pretty much expecting Tiger Lake to be launched in the next few weeks. But obviously, that is just an expectation. It is not confirmed by any means. So should I say. So we're going to move on from that to some interesting reports regarding the iPhone 12. Now, for anyone who keeps their ear to the ground for all things Apple, you'll know that the launch of the iPhone 12 is loomed in uncertainty. But a new report talks about an unveiling happening during the month of September. Now, this is normally when Apple have their conferences for their new hardware, but obviously it doesn't necessarily mean that A, they're going to be doing that this time, and B, even if they do, that it will be available to order immediately. The current reports are basically stating that we will be seeing the availability happen in October. Now, again, for those of you who do keep your finger on the pulse of Apple, you will know that the uncertainty for the iPhone 12 is to do with some supply line issues. And hopefully Apple are going to get that under control. According to various reports, Apple are unsurprisingly throwing every resource they can to sort this out and reduce the delay. But according to a report from Wedbush, the final assembly process could be pushed to October and then would actually be made available to purchase after that. Now obviously Apple don't want to give Samsung even the slightest bit of breathing room, but obviously this may be out of their hands. Unsurprisingly, the current, everything that's happening in the world has a lot to do with this supply chain issue. But speaking of Samsung, we're going to finish up today's video regarding the Galaxy S21. So, according to a leaker by the name of Ice Universe, the internal codename of the new flagship, which is going to be following on from the 20 series, is going to be the Galaxy U. And apparently Samsung are aiming to provide the family of devices at a lower price to customers. Now, obviously, that's good because if you're keen to stay at the bleeding edge of smartphones, they can get pretty damn expensive. But unsurprisingly, there's going to be a catch. There's going to be a trade-off for this lower cost. There is rumours swirling that this is going to be due to the fact that Samsung's Galaxy S21 family is not going to be utilising the Snapdragon 875 and is instead going to use an Exynos-only configuration. But there's also been reports doing the rounds that it's only going to be using the 865 Snapdragon instead of the 875, which obviously would also save on price. Now, Ice Universe is also saying that, well, they're going to be seeing an FHD Plus screen supporting a 60Hz refresh rate. And they said, quote, according to new reports, the internal codename of the Galaxy S21 is Galaxy U. S21 will consider reducing the configuration to save costs, thereby reducing the selling price. In other words, the minimum S21 configuration will use FHD plus 60Hz. Want to buy the best S21? Please consider S21 Ultra. Now, when you compare that to the base model, the Galaxy S20, that is a significant downgrade. But again, Samsung are looking to reduce the price of the flagship models. And of course, they are still doing the Pro variation for anyone who really wants to get their hands on the best of the best with all the bells and whistles. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, your support means a huge deal. Do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It does make a significant difference, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.